When most people hear that their creatinine level is higher than normal, the first thing they ask is, what can I eat to bring it down? It's a reasonable question, but it also reveals one of the biggest misunderstandings about kidney health. Creatinine itself isn't the enemy. It's a natural waste product produced every day when your muscles use energy. Healthy kidneys filter it out through the urine. So when creatinine starts to rise, it's often a signal that your kidneys may not be filtering as efficiently as they should. In other words, creatinine is more like the warning light on your car's dashboard. You don't fix the problem by covering the light, you fix what's happening under the hood. That brings us to something many people never think about: the milk they drink every single day. Whether it's poured over cereal, blended into coffee, mixed into a smoothie, or enjoyed before bed, milk is often treated as a simple, healthy choice. But not all milks affect your kidneys in the same way. Some can place extra demands on already struggling kidneys, while others may be a much gentler option, especially for older adults or those with declining kidney function. The kidneys are remarkable organs. Every single day, they filter around 150 to 180 liters of blood, removing waste products while carefully balancing minerals, fluids, and electrolytes. They regulate sodium, potassium, phosphorus, calcium, and many other substances that keep your heart, muscles, and nerves functioning properly. When kidney function begins to decline, even slightly, this balancing act becomes much harder. That's why the foods and drinks you consume every day suddenly matter much more than they did before. Milk contains nutrients that are normally beneficial, including protein, calcium, vitamins, and minerals. But when kidneys are under stress, some of those same nutrients can become a challenge. Take phosphorus, for example. Healthy kidneys remove excess phosphorus with little effort. Damaged kidneys struggle to eliminate it, allowing phosphorus to build up in the blood over time. High phosphorus levels may weaken bones, damage blood vessels, and place additional strain on the body. This is one reason healthcare providers often recommend watching phosphorus intake as kidney disease progresses. Potassium is another nutrient that deserves attention. Your body needs potassium to keep your heartbeat steady and your muscles working properly. But if your kidneys can't remove excess potassium effectively, levels may become dangerously high. That's why not every milk is equally appropriate for every person. Some contain significantly more potassium than others, making the choice more important than most people realize. Then there's protein. Protein is essential for repairing tissues, maintaining muscles, and supporting overall health. The goal isn't to eliminate protein. Far from it. The goal is balance. Eating far more protein than your body needs can produce additional waste products that your kidneys must filter. On the other hand, eating too little protein can lead to muscle loss, weakness, and poor recovery, especially in older adults. Finding the right balance is far healthier than chasing extremes. Added sugars deserve attention as well. Many flavored milks and sweetened plant-based alternatives contain surprisingly high amounts of sugar. Over time, excessive sugar intake contributes to weight gain, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes, which remains one of the leading causes of chronic kidney disease worldwide. Protecting your kidneys often starts with protecting your blood sugar. One of the biggest myths I hear is that if a milk is labeled plant-based, it must automatically be healthier for the kidneys. Unfortunately, that's simply not true. Some plant-based milks contain phosphate additives, added sugars, gums, and other ingredients that can make them far less kidney-friendly than people assume. Others may be naturally low in phosphorus and potassium, making them excellent choices. The label on the front of the carton doesn't tell the whole story. Learning to read the ingredient list can be just as important as reading the nutrition facts. Another common misconception is that drinking more milk will somehow flush out the kidneys or directly lower creatinine. It doesn't work that way. No single food or drink can magically repair damaged kidneys or instantly reduce creatinine levels. What truly matters is the pattern of your daily habits. Every meal, every beverage, every choice either supports healthy kidney function or adds another small burden. Those small choices accumulate over weeks, months, and years. This is especially important for seniors. As we age, kidney function naturally declines, even in otherwise healthy individuals. Muscle mass changes, medications become more common, blood pressure often rises, and the kidneys simply become less resilient than they once were. That doesn't mean kidney problems are inevitable. It means that smart, consistent nutrition becomes one of the most powerful tools you have to preserve kidney function and maintain your quality of life. The encouraging news is that choosing the right milk doesn't require expensive supplements or complicated diets. It's about understanding which options work with your kidneys instead of against them. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 3 milks that can be much gentler on the kidneys, followed by 3 that many seniors should think twice about drinking regularly. Sometimes the smallest change in your daily routine can become one of the biggest investments in your long-term health. Your kidneys work for you every minute of every day. It's time to choose foods and drinks that work just as hard for them. Let's begin with the first milk on our countdown. And while it comes in at number 3, don't let the ranking fool you. This can be an excellent everyday choice for many people who are trying to be kinder to their kidneys. I'm talking about unsweetened almond milk. Now, before we go any further, it's important to understand that we're talking specifically about unsweetened almond milk. That one word makes a tremendous difference. Many flavored versions contain added sugars, sweeteners, and other ingredients that can take away many of the benefits we're looking for. So whenever you're shopping, take a few extra seconds to read the label. It's one of the simplest habits you can develop for protecting your health. What makes unsweetened almond milk so appealing from a kidney perspective is that it's naturally lower in potassium and phosphorus than many traditional dairy products. Remember what we discussed earlier. As kidney function declines, removing excess potassium and phosphorus becomes more difficult. Choosing foods that contain lower amounts of these minerals can help reduce the workload placed on the kidneys, particularly for individuals who have already been advised by their healthcare provider to monitor these nutrients. Another advantage is that unsweetened almond milk is usually much lower in calories than whole milk. That may not sound directly related to kidney health, but maintaining a healthy weight plays a major role in protecting your kidneys over time. Excess body weight increases the risk of high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes, 2 of the leading causes of chronic kidney disease. Small calorie savings made consistently every day can support healthier weight management without feeling like you're making a major sacrifice. There's another benefit people often overlook. Unsweetened almond milk contains virtually no added sugar when you choose the right variety. Keeping blood sugar stable isn't only important for people who already have diabetes. Elevated blood sugar over many years can gradually damage the tiny blood vessels inside the kidneys. These microscopic filters are delicate structures. Once they're damaged, the kidneys lose some of their ability to filter waste products efficiently. Every decision that supports healthy blood sugar is also helping protect those filters. Of course, no food is perfect, and almond milk is no exception. One thing many people don't realize is that commercial almond milk is often quite low in protein. Compared with cow's milk, it contains only a small fraction of the protein per serving. For some individuals, especially older adults who are trying to preserve muscle mass, that matters. Muscle naturally declines with age, and adequate protein remains important for maintaining strength, balance, and independence. The solution isn't to avoid almond milk, The solution is to think about your overall meal instead of focusing on one beverage. If your breakfast includes eggs, plain Greek yogurt if appropriate, tofu, or another quality protein source that fits your dietary needs, then the lower protein content of almond milk becomes much less of an issue. Nutrition is always about the entire pattern of eating, not one isolated food. Here's another tip that many people never consider. Turn the carton around and read the ingredient list. Some manufacturers add phosphate additives to improve texture or extend shelf life. These added phosphates are often absorbed by the body more readily than the naturally occurring phosphorus found in whole foods. If you see ingredients with names containing the word phosphate, it may be worth choosing a different brand with a simpler ingredient list. The fewer unnecessary additives, the better. You also want to pay attention to sodium. While many unsweetened almond milks are relatively low in sodium, some brands contain more than others. Comparing labels only takes a moment, but over weeks and months, those choices can make a meaningful difference, particularly for individuals managing high blood pressure alongside kidney concerns. One of the reasons I like unsweetened almond milk is its versatility. You don't have to dramatically change your lifestyle to include it. Pour it over oatmeal instead of sugary cereal. Blend it into a smoothie with berries and a handful of spinach if those foods fit your dietary recommendations. Add it to your morning coffee or tea. Use it when making soups or cooking whole grain oatmeal. These are simple substitutions that fit naturally into everyday life rather than requiring an entirely new diet. But I also want to emphasize something that often gets lost in discussions like this. Drinking almond milk alone is not going to lower your creatinine overnight. If someone promises that one specific drink will repair your kidneys, be skeptical. Kidney health isn't built on miracle foods. It's built on consistent habits repeated day after day. Better food choices, good blood pressure control, stable blood sugar, regular physical activity, quality sleep, avoiding smoking, and following your healthcare provider's advice all work together. That's where the real progress happens. Think of unsweetened almond milk as one helpful piece of a much larger puzzle. It isn't a cure, but it can be a smarter choice than beverages that overload the body with added sugars, excess phosphorus, or unnecessary calories. When you replace less healthy options with better ones, those improvements accumulate. One healthy choice leads to another, and before long, your daily routine begins working in your favor instead of against you. And that's what protecting your kidneys is really about. It's not perfection. It's making one better decision today than you made yesterday, then repeating that decision often enough that it becomes your new normal. Small choices poured into your glass today can become stronger kidneys tomorrow. Now let's move to the next milk on our list, and this one often surprises people. It has gained tremendous popularity over the last few years, but many don't realize it may also be a thoughtful choice for supporting kidney health when selected carefully. I'm talking about unsweetened oat milk. One of the reasons oat milk stands out is that it offers benefits that go beyond the kidneys. Remember, your body doesn't work in isolated systems. Your kidneys, heart, blood vessels, and metabolism are all connected. When you improve one area, you often help another. That's exactly why oat milk deserves a closer look. Oats are naturally rich in a special type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. This fiber has been studied extensively because of its ability to help lower LDL, often called bad cholesterol. Why does that matter for your kidneys? Because healthy kidneys depend on healthy blood vessels. Every kidney contains millions of tiny filtering units supplied by an intricate network of blood vessels. If those blood vessels become damaged by high cholesterol, high blood pressure, or inflammation, the kidneys can gradually lose their ability to do their job efficiently. Supporting heart health is also supporting kidney health. The two are deeply connected. Beta glucan offers another important advantage. It slows digestion and helps your body absorb carbohydrates more gradually. Instead of creating sharp spikes in blood sugar after meals, foods rich in soluble fiber often produce a steadier rise. That's especially important because diabetes remains one of the most common causes of chronic kidney disease. Every time you avoid unnecessary blood sugar spikes, you're helping protect those delicate filtering structures inside the kidneys from long-term damage. This doesn't mean oat milk is automatically healthy in every form. That's an important distinction. Many commercial oat milks are heavily sweetened. Some contain nearly as much added sugar as soft drinks or flavored coffee beverages. Others include syrups, artificial flavorings, or phosphate additives that reduce many of the advantages we're looking for. That's why the word unsweetened matters so much. When choosing oat milk, look for a short ingredient list with no added sugars. If you see ingredients ending in phosphate, it's worth considering another brand. Those additives are commonly absorbed very efficiently by the body and may contribute to excess phosphorus intake, something people with declining kidney function are often encouraged to limit. Another benefit of oat milk is that many people find it satisfying. Its naturally creamy texture makes it easy to replace higher fat dairy products without feeling deprived. That can make healthy eating much more sustainable over the long term. Remember, the healthiest diet isn't the one that's perfect for 3 days. It's the one you can comfortably maintain for years. Now let's talk about blood pressure because it's impossible to discuss kidney health without mentioning it. High blood pressure damages the tiny blood vessels inside the kidneys over time. At the same time, damaged kidneys can actually make blood pressure worse, creating a vicious cycle. Breaking that cycle requires consistent lifestyle choices, including paying attention to the foods and beverages you consume every day. Replacing sugary drinks with unsweetened oat milk can be one small step toward better metabolic health. It's not because oat milk is a medicine, it's because healthier substitutions reduce the overall burden on your body. Those substitutions become powerful when they're repeated every single day. Portion size also deserves attention. Even healthy foods can become less helpful when consumed in excess. A moderate serving of oat milk is usually all you need. Drinking several large glasses throughout the day simply because it's labeled healthy isn't necessarily better. Balance remains the goal. Nutrition rarely rewards extremes. This is particularly important for seniors. As we age, our bodies become less forgiving of poor dietary habits. Blood sugar regulation changes. Muscle mass naturally declines. Blood pressure often rises. Kidney function gradually becomes more vulnerable. Choosing foods that support stable energy, healthy circulation, and balanced nutrition becomes increasingly valuable. One practical strategy is to incorporate unsweetened oat milk into meals that already contain fiber and protein. Imagine a bowl of steel-cut oats topped with berries and walnuts, prepared with unsweetened oat milk, or perhaps a smoothie made with spinach, a handful of berries, and a source of protein recommended by your healthcare provider. These combinations provide a much steadier source of energy than a breakfast filled with refined sugar and processed carbohydrates. It's also worth remembering that labels can be misleading. The front of the carton may advertise words like natural, wholesome, or heart healthy, but those marketing terms don't always tell the full story. The real information is found on the nutrition facts panel and the ingredient list. Becoming an informed shopper is one of the simplest ways to take control of your kidney health without spending more money or following complicated diets. And just as we discussed with almond milk, oat milk is not a miracle cure for elevated creatinine. No beverage can undo years of uncontrolled diabetes, high blood pressure, or chronic kidney damage overnight. But choosing foods that reduce unnecessary stress on your body allows your kidneys to function under better conditions. That may not sound dramatic, but over months and years, those daily decisions matter far more than any quick fix ever could. Think of each healthy choice as a small deposit into your future. One glass won't transform your health, just as one unhealthy meal won't destroy it. But the habits you repeat every day shape the future of your kidneys far more than the occasional indulgence or the latest health trend. And that's the mindset that creates lasting results. Not chasing miracles, but building better habits, one choice at a time. Your kidneys don't ask for perfection. They simply benefit every time you choose wisely. We've now reached the number one spot on our list, and this choice may surprise you because it isn't the trendiest option and it certainly isn't the one with the biggest advertising budget. In fact, many people overlook it completely. For individuals with reduced kidney function, especially those who have been advised to limit potassium and phosphorus, plain unsweetened rice milk can often be one of the gentlest choices available. Now, let me be very clear about something before we go any further. I'm talking about plain, unsweetened rice milk, ideally one without unnecessary phosphate additives. Even better, if you enjoy preparing food at home, a simple homemade rice milk made from cooked rice and water gives you complete control over the ingredients. That means no added sugars, no artificial flavors, and no hidden preservatives that can sometimes find their way into commercial products. So, why does rice milk earn the top position? The answer comes down to one simple idea: reducing the workload on the kidneys. When kidney function begins to decline, your kidneys don't suddenly stop working. They simply become less efficient. Every day, they continue filtering waste, balancing fluids, and regulating minerals. But they have fewer reserves than they once did. The goal is not to overwhelm them with unnecessary challenges. Compared with many other types of milk, plain rice milk is naturally low in potassium and phosphorus. For people whose healthcare provider has recommended limiting these minerals, this can be a meaningful advantage. Instead of forcing the kidneys to work harder to eliminate excess minerals, you're choosing a beverage that places a lighter demand on an already stressed filtering system. Think of it like carrying groceries. If your arms are already tired, adding another heavy bag doesn't help. But if someone removes a few of those bags, the trip becomes much easier. Your kidneys respond in much the same way. Every unnecessary burden you remove gives them a better opportunity to perform the jobs they still can. Another reason rice milk deserves attention is its simplicity. We often assume that healthier foods must be exotic or expensive, but that's rarely true. Rice has been a staple food in many cultures for thousands of years. When transformed into a simple, unsweetened beverage without unnecessary additives, it becomes an option that's easy to digest for many people and fits naturally into everyday meals. You can use it in your morning oatmeal, pour it over cereal that fits your nutritional needs, blend it into smoothies, or simply enjoy a small glass alongside breakfast. The goal isn't to make rice milk the center of your diet. The goal is to make it a smarter substitute for beverages that may contain higher amounts of phosphorus, potassium, saturated fat, or added sugars. Now, there is an important trade-off that we need to discuss honestly. Rice milk is naturally low in protein. That can be both an advantage and a limitation depending on the individual. For someone whose kidneys have difficulty handling excessive protein intake, a lower protein beverage may fit well within an overall eating plan. But for many seniors, maintaining muscle mass is equally important. Loss of muscle strength increases the risk of falls, fractures, loss of independence, and slower recovery from illness. This is why nutrition should never be reduced to a single food. If you choose rice milk, you should make sure you're obtaining adequate protein from other appropriate sources throughout the day. That might include eggs, fish, poultry, beans in suitable portions, tofu, or other foods recommended by your healthcare provider or registered dietitian. Your body still needs enough high quality protein to repair tissues and maintain muscle. The goal is balance, not excess and not deficiency. Another point worth mentioning is that not all commercial rice milks are created equal. Some manufacturers add sugars to improve flavor, while others fortify their products with phosphate containing ingredients. Once again, reading the ingredient list becomes one of the most valuable skills you can develop. A shorter ingredient list is often a good sign. If you recognize every ingredient without needing a chemistry textbook, you're usually moving in the right direction. I also want to caution against the common mistake. Sometimes people hear that a particular food is kidney friendly, and they begin consuming large amounts of it every day. That's not how healthy eating works. Drinking several large glasses of rice milk won't magically lower your creatinine. In fact, because rice milk contains carbohydrates, excessive amounts may contribute to higher calorie intake and blood sugar levels if you're not paying attention to portion sizes. Moderation remains one of the most powerful principles in nutrition. What truly protects your kidneys is the overall pattern of your lifestyle. Drinking enough fluids, if appropriate for your condition, controlling blood pressure, managing blood sugar, staying physically active, avoiding smoking, limiting highly processed foods, and choosing whole, minimally processed ingredients most of the time. These habits create an environment where your kidneys can function as effectively as possible. And that's really the lesson behind this entire countdown. Whether it's almond milk, oat milk, or rice milk, none of these beverages are miracle cures. They don't erase chronic kidney disease, and they don't instantly normalize creatinine levels. What they can do is become part of a daily routine that reduces unnecessary stress on the kidneys. Small improvements, repeated consistently, often accomplish far more than dramatic changes that last only a week. The healthiest people rarely succeed because they discover one magical food. They succeed because they make hundreds of small, thoughtful decisions that add up over time. Every breakfast, every grocery trip, every label you read, and every healthier substitution becomes another investment in your future health. Your kidneys don't expect perfection. They simply respond to the environment you create for them day after day. Give them better choices consistently, and you're giving them the best opportunity to keep serving you well for years to come. The best drink for your kidneys isn't the one with the loudest promise. It's the one that quietly supports them every single day. Now that we've talked about 3 milks that can fit into a kidney-conscious lifestyle, it's just as important to discuss the other side of the equation. Sometimes protecting your kidneys isn't only about adding healthier choices. It's also about avoiding foods and drinks that quietly place extra stress on them. There are 3 types of milk that many seniors and people with reduced kidney function should think twice about drinking regularly. The first is whole cow's milk. Now, this may surprise you because whole milk has long been promoted as a nutritious food. For many healthy people, it certainly can be part of a balanced diet. But kidney health changes the conversation. What works well for someone with normal kidney function may not be the best option for someone whose kidneys are already struggling. Whole cow's milk naturally contains higher amounts of phosphorus and potassium than many of the alternatives we've discussed. Those minerals are essential for health, but when kidney function declines, the body may no longer remove excess amounts efficiently. Over time, phosphorus can build up in the bloodstream, contributing to weakened bones and calcium imbalance. Excess potassium, depending on the stage of kidney disease, may also become a concern because the kidneys are responsible for maintaining safe blood levels. Whole milk is also higher in saturated fat. While saturated fat doesn't directly damage the kidneys, diets high in saturated fat can contribute to heart disease and poor blood vessel health. Remember, healthy kidneys depend on healthy circulation. Every tiny filtering unit inside the kidneys relies on a constant supply of oxygen-rich blood. Protecting your heart and blood vessels is another way of protecting your kidneys. Does this mean every person should completely eliminate whole milk forever? Not necessarily. Nutritional needs vary depending on your kidney function, blood test results, medications, and overall health. That's why personalized advice from your healthcare provider or a registered dietitian is always important. But if you've been told to watch your phosphorus or potassium intake, switching to a lower mineral alternative may be a wise step. The second milk to be cautious about is chocolate milk. This one often carries a health halo because it's still milk. Unfortunately, the chocolate flavor usually comes with a significant amount of added sugar. Some servings contain several teaspoons of sugar before you've even looked at the rest of your day's meals.